Welcome everyone to the third and final installment of our Webroot saga. Not as cool as Star Wars, but nevertheless it's a saga here, I guess. Anyways, getting into the review, I've already booted up the virtual machine, and as you can see, there is still that lovely error. I've already scanned with Webroot, and Webroot has now found nothing, as usual. So, not looking too good so far for Webroot, and I know from the last test that we do have malware on this system. Now, granted, it's not running on the system. Nevertheless, we do have malware. And I thought I was prepared for this test, but I did not get kill switch open. As usual, right? Alright, so let's open up kill switch here, and obviously, as you can see, everything looks good in there, which is good. Let's go ahead and close this out, and you can see my subscription is expiring in 3 days, which is why I'm making this video, because I want to make sure that I give it a fair test and I don't lose any functionality of the program. So let's go find our active processes, and as you can see, everything is good to go and perfectly allowed in the system. You could put all the information you want on the system and it would be secure according to Webroot, right? Yes, it would be. I agree with that. However, like I said, there's still malware in the system. I don't like malware in my system. I don't know about you guys, but that just doesn't sit well with me. But it's not a huge deal, I guess. So what we're going to do in this test now is we're going to do our normal scans. We're going to go ahead and scan with Webroot again after we're done with this test, obviously. And I'm not going to go ahead and scan with Hitman Pro because I don't feel right now there's any need, considering it didn't detect anything and nothing has changed on this virtual machine since the last time I made a video. I did, however, receive a comment in my YouTube, or a comment on this video. I think it was a comment on the video. I don't know if it was an inbox. I can't remember. Either way, nevertheless, it was a comment. And they wanted me to test out the manual rollback feature, which is located somewhere around here. Manual threat removal, right there. Essentially, this is supposed to be able to manually remove threats using the executable file. From what I can understand, you're supposed to be able to just select the file, and it's supposed to remove all associated files with it. Registry keys, whatever. As you can see, it just grabs it right there. Don't know why I'm reading it. Anyways, so let's go ahead and kind of see how well that works. So to put that to the test here, I have on the desktop here a pack of malware that I just downloaded today. And in there, we have some pretty nice pieces of malware, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to run some of these inside that isolated environment. Or actually, no, we're going to run these and then we're going to try and remove them using that isolated. That's how it works. I keep getting this confused kind of. So essentially, we run them normally and then we remove them by selecting the original executable if it's still there. That's kind of a design flaw in my mind. But however, we're going to see how this works. So let's go ahead and let's extract the malware here. Let's get right into the test. Enough of this just talking. Start infecting this machine. Well, possibly, actually, probably are going to infect this machine, considering I've scanned all this with Webroot pretty much, and Webroot didn't detect anything, or whatever it detected has already been removed. So essentially, as you can see, we're good to go. All right. Now I did not scan these right here with, as you can see, I used Webroot, and I kind of just cleaned up the logs so it's easier for you guys to see. It didn't detect all of the malware, but obviously I numbered it so that we can figure out which ones are which. And hopefully, I'm hoping that this will not... Well, actually, let's do this first. Let me do a screenshot of this. So if for some reason the ransomware that I oh so lovely, or oh so know is in that folder, I should say, decides to go completely haywire and take over the system like it's designed to, well, we won't have to worry about losing that data. All right. Let's begin the test. So to start it out, let's get rid of our error that keeps popping up and being annoying. And let's try the screen locker. Well, screensaver, huh, you say? Let's do, well, let's go right. You know, we're going to go all the way. Screensaver, here we go. Let's do this. Oh, shoot. Dang. That sucks. Oh, now it wants us to go and unlock our computer via their website here. And it wants us to download this file, it looks like. Well, sure, you gonna give it to me? Oh, we can win a new Weber grill. Oh, sweet. I do need a new grill. And it's a Weber. See, I know it's going to be a quality piece of material. Oh, dang. Well, if Webroot would let me go to the site, maybe I would be able to unlock my computer. Thanks, Webroot. All right, we're not going to go ahead and do that. Leave page. All right, let's see if we can do... We can't right-click. However, kill switch is still open, so let's see. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So we could just go ahead and kill it if we want. But let's do this a little bit. Let's have a little bit of fun with this. Let me send Control-Alt-Delete. Send Control-Alt-Delete. All right. Task Manager. Can we go to Task Manager? No Task Manager. Darn. Well, I guess we're going to have to do this kind of the old way here. Wish we could somehow bring Webroot to the surface here. Didn't think there's a way to do it. Jump to folder. Can we do that? No, it's not going to let me do that. All right, well, let's just see if we can kill the process here. Okay, so we just killed that. Let's try Control-Delete and see if we can start up Explore.exe again. All right, Task Manager. Hey, there we go. All right, new Explore.exe, and what do you know? We're back online. All right, so obviously that didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. Let's try a different piece right here. Everything, I don't think it actually encoded anything, or encrypted anything, I should say. Yeah, penguins are still there, as well as our koala. All right, let's go ahead and try a different one. Let's try attachment here. Well, yeah, sure, I'll run the screensaver. It's going to be a nifty little screensaver here. It's going to turn my computer into an aquarium or a fireplace or whatever the hell people are interested in nowadays. Oh, we got SVC host running. Uh-oh. Well, that can't be good. Well, nothing happened, right? You just continue on. Nothing from Webroot yet. Let's go ahead and open up Webroot here. Get it all ready in case shit starts hitting the fan. Okay, so essentially, if we wanted to remove this threat, I'm going to let it sit here a little bit. If we wanted to remove this threat, we should be able to just select the file and go in there like so and remove it, right? Okay, well, let me see if my stuff is encoded here. No, still got everything. So it still is on the system and it's still doing something other. Uh-oh. All right, well, trying to modify a boot area. Well, you know what? Now, guys, for the sake of this video, I'm going to allow this, I think, because the reason I'm going to do that, because I'm not testing out the fact that Webroot can block stuff on the system. All right, that's long gone. We're now testing the ability of Komodo being, or not Komodo, jeez, of Webroot being able to roll back changes that has been done by malware. And even though I allowed that, I should be able to still roll back the changes because it's still an unknown file. So that's what I'm testing out. So I know I'm probably going to get some comments saying, you shouldn't have allowed that. You should have blocked that. Webroot was giving you a warning. Well, yes, under normal circumstances, I would have blocked that, but not today. All right. Let's go ahead and see if we can do this before I restart the system, because I have a feeling when I restart the system, this is not going to work. Oh, we already have it open. All right, let's do this. So if we click open, it's just going to start scanning. Okay. So now is it looking for changes associated with that file? Is it going to undo them? Because I hope so. That's really what should happen here. But as you can see, we still have that SVC host right down there. Now, I know Webroot loves to do 5 million scans, so I know if it detects anything, we're going to have to do another scan right after this. But I want to do this on camera for you guys because I really want to put closure to this Webroot saga. Come on, scan faster. Still they're running in the background though, nothing yet from Webroot. You know, before I restart the system, I actually want to try something else here. While that's doing that, I'm going to go on my other machine here and pull up, I think it's Zima anti-keylog. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Oh, we did find something. Okay. Awesome. Oh, my internet. Freaking stupid VPNs. Now it's trying to perform an essential analysis, and it can't because my Alright, hold on a second, guys, here. Pause my virtual machine so I can go and get the... Stop there. Just stop. Because for some reason... That's probably why it's not working either. Let's try a different server here. Keeps kicking me off. Probably because it's detecting malicious activity, which is not good. Alright. So we should be back online here. And I should be able to resume the virtual machine. Let's do that. Okay. So... Alright, so it found that. Now let's go ahead and remove that and see. Now these files right here, everything should be associated with that. Everything should be gone. And I'm seeing a lot of network traffic right now. I'm just going to point that out to you guys. So there's definitely something going on with this system. I'll let it sit a little bit because I want to, now that I got that there, I want to see if I can remove it. But I want to let this malware run its course. So let me pull up my keylogger test here and see if we can get that to work, because I'm concerned about keyloggers with Webroot, and I really want to put this to the test before I end this video. Lots of internet traffic though, guys. Lots of hard drive activity. So it is definitely doing something to my system. See what pictures are still there. Okay. Let's see, we want to test. Simulation program. I suppose I have to do it on this system actually though, for it to actually work. Now I don't know if Webroot's going to block it. We'll find out here. I apologize if this is going to be a longer video. It probably will be a longer video, but like I said, it's going to be the last one. And then I'm going to be probably testing Avast next. I really want to see how they do. So I'm going to be taking care of Avast after this. Well, not after this video right away, but nevertheless, next video I do will be Avast. Most likely. I never make any guarantees with my videos. Okay. Let's do not anti-malware. Oh, jeez, I clicked the wrong one. Leave it to me to screw it up. Come on. Let's go here. System is really becoming sluggish. And do we still have our picture? Oh, who cares? Nobody cares about the penguins anymore. Penguins will be gone. Probably. Okay, where is my dang test tool? How hard is it to download? Okay, how hard is it to find a freaking test tool? Security tests. Here we go. So essentially this program is going to attempt to, where's the download? There it is. This program is essentially going to simulate a keylogger and what it does. So we're going to see if Webroot is still vulnerable to keyloggers, because it states that they're not supposed to be. And granted, I know this is a simulation program and this isn't really a 100% true test to actual keyloggers, but we're just going to see if it actually works. If my malware has not taken over the system completely. Okay. Running security scan. Really slowing down, that's for sure. Hard drive is going nuts. Internet activity is, well, it's doing, I guess, security scan right now, so I can't blame it too much. Can we just stop that, please? I don't need you to scan it. Oh, there we go. Okay. And our internet activity is still going absolutely nuts, and I will show you. Hold on. After I do this, yeah, this is really slowing down. As you can see, we have quite a few connections here going on, and the system is slowing down quite a lot. Alright, extract all. Extract. Hopefully Webroot will not detect it and ruin my test. Password? What do you mean you want a password? No. You guys don't need a password. Why do you guys need a password? jeez. No, go away. I don't know why you're popping up. You should need a password. You've never needed a password. Aw, you dirty dogs. Please enter the password in the box. Well, of course it entered the password in the box. Let's read the instructions here. There's the password. That's, okay, looks like actually Webroot did detect that. Interesting. Okay, well let's see if it's vulnerable to keyloggers. And I do want to still test it out a little bit. I know it detected it. And probably ruin that test, but let's test this out first and then we'll go back to that. Hopefully Webroot will not detect this file. Okay. So let's go ahead and run this. Looks like it's running. So now let's go to, like, let's say a program here. Alright, let's go to our internet browser. And let's go to Bank of America. And we're going to attempt to log into our Bank of America account. You know, just like you normally would. Your system is secure. You're thinking you're good to go. Webroot's got your back. Let's start this thing. It's running. And if we type in we don't get anything, which is good. That's actually what I want to see. It's very good that Webroot can prevent that from actually doing that. Let me try a few more things here, because I know sometimes this doesn't work and sometimes it does. So let's start the simulation again. And let's see. Alright. So it looks like Webroot, from what I can see, actually does... Uh-oh. Let's see. Because it still should... I don't think this is working, because it should be just essentially making gibberish, if I understand. But maybe Webroot's blocking entirely. And maybe because it's on a virtual machine. Let me use a... Uh-oh. Yeah, we got... So it looks like it's working here a little bit for some things. Sending device virtual keyboard. Okay. So I think it's because it's on a virtual machine here. It's not really working. So let's see if we can do it on here. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not good. So I can see this. See, because I'm on a virtual machine, it's not working, it looks like. But if I use my virtual keyboard right here, which is actually on the system, you can clearly see that any sort of passwords are caught. And now, this right here could easily be transmitted to any sort of cyber criminal. And you can see right there. And it goes for numbers too. If we start typing in like some random password here. Well, let me go ahead and stop this. And then can I clear this? I'd like to clear it, please. Let's just close it out and open it back up. Okay, where do we go for that? Let's go right here. Start. So we are tracking our keystrokes. All right. So we type in something like, let's say, a password that somebody would have. Whoops. Oh. Screwed up again. Sorry, guys. All right. Nevertheless, let's do this. So let's say we type in a password again. Cat 5578. Imagine that's our password. Look at that. Ignore the first one right there. But we got cat 5578. That could be sent to anybody. So that's not exactly good to see. Really would kind of like to see a little bit more from Webroot so that it's not invulnerable from keyloggers is what I'm trying to say here. Keyloggers can still go on the system and can still, you're not protected from them from what I can see. Maybe I'm doing this wrong, but from what I can see, you're not protected. We still got lots of information, it looks like, going through the internet. Lots of information. Let's check our network activity. What do we got going? Let's see. Looks like that might be, what are these from? I don't think that's kill switch that's taking on. Yeah, kill switch has got one, it looks like. Alright, let's go ahead and remove this threat. Okay. What we're going to try now is, let's try one of these, one of the threats that we have from Malware. And this one, that one actually uses, that's a password stealer right there. So let's try that one. And this uses the simple mail transfer protocol to actually transmit your passwords. And for those of you who don't know what the simple mail transfer protocol is, well, it's essentially email. So it just essentially emails your passwords. All right, so we're looking for number 5 right there. Here we go. Number 5. Let's go back to our system, and we got number 5 running somewhere. I don't know. It probably did. We got lots of hard drive activity. I'm going to try another one here. I'm just going to load up. This is actually a version of a variant of TDL, I believe. So let's try that one. See if we can get that one going. Number 9. This is a rootkit. Lots of hard drive activity, guys. Lots of hard drive activity. Alright, so we ran 5 and 9. So let's go ahead and try to remove these threats. Let's go to, where was that again? Crap. Manual threat removal right there. There we go. Okay, so we want to remove 5. It's not running yet, but nevertheless, I just want to try to remove this. We probably ran enough on this system. And now, after these two, after I do these 2 scans here, I think I'll pause the video right now just to save some time. After these 2 scans are complete, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and reboot the system. I'll let Webroot do what it wants to do now. I'm not going to run any more malware. Let it scan, let it do its thing. Reboot the computer, and then I'm going to do a scan with Malwarebytes and Hitman Pro, and we're going to see what it found on the system, if there's any new malware, and how bad it actually is. So, I'll be right back, guys. Welcome back to the review, guys. And, well, I don't really have some good news for you at all, unfortunately. So the scans have completed. Webroot didn't find anything. I went through the malware folder. I don't know why it opened up again, probably because Explorer is all jacked up. Anyways, went through the malware folder and I manually removed the threats that I did run on the system. These essentially I didn't run, so these are irrelevant. I didn't therefore scan them and do a manual threat removal of them. But it appears that, like I said earlier, I quite wasn't understanding how Webroot was working, if it was actually removing things, but I figured out that it does actually, it just basically adds it to the as a threat. I was thinking earlier that it possibly was detecting as malware, but it was actually just the user, me, the user, essentially, that was adding it as a threat. So that's how Webroot was saying it was detected. If that makes any sense, whatever. I guess that doesn't really apply anymore because of the fact my files are once again encrypted. Yes, no more penguins or koalas. No more nothing. It was so bad this time too that essentially I had to reinstall both 7-zip and Malwarebytes so that I could even attempt to use a manual threat removal to restore my files. That's how I have these here, because of course I deleted the folder. I was expecting to do scans and I didn't need it anymore. Well, I couldn't extract it anymore. That's a huge problem in my mind when it comes to having a system like this where you can manually remove threats using the original file. Is there's malware out there that basically after you execute it, it deletes itself. So essentially, if you don't know where you got the malware, how are you supposed to manually remove it? That is where, if Webroot, I mean, they have a great concept going here, but I feel if they'd add more of a system restore type of interface to it, in a sense of that you can restore the system back to a specific date instead of using a specific file, that this would, I'd be able to recommend it then. Just because I think that their monitoring system is good, and I don't know if it encompasses all files for the system. I believe it only encompasses program files such as exes, DLLs, and registry keys. I don't think it basically takes like PNG files, JPG files, stuff like that. Pictures, movies, those kind of things. I don't think it deals with that. I think it strictly deals with the file system of Windows in a sense. So that's not good at all. If we look also at Malwarebytes and what it found, quite frankly, it found a lot of bad things in the system. Stolen data, Zbot Trojan, Zeus is on the system here, it looks like. So lots of bad stuff. Lots and lots of bad stuff. Now, I know I could navigate to the roaming folder right here and do a manual threat removal, but please, are you kidding me? I'm not going to go through and wait for Webroot to freaking scan a whole bunch of files it doesn't need to scan. Well, I might need to scan them because it probably is trying to look for changes. But nevertheless, I'm not going to sit there and wait for it to scan 5 million times. I think there's 10 detections here. I'm not going to wait for it to scan 10 times to remove all, actually it says right there, 10 infections on the system. That's absolutely ridiculous. And infections that it didn't even detect in the first place. So if I didn't have Malwarebytes on my system, how am I supposed to know my system's infected by the fact that otherwise my files are encrypted and I can't open them anymore? So that is not good to see it at all. And as you saw earlier too with the key logging test, it doesn't appear that Webroot has any abilities into blocking keyloggers. Now, I guess I didn't put it as monitor. Let me do that quick, because I really want to just make this test as thorough as possible. Let me go back, and if it'll work even. I don't even know if I can get this to work. Let me see if we can get this keylogger again. Not the keylogger, but it's basically just a file that lets me, or a program that lets me simulate a keylogger and actually see what it's doing to the system. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll attempt to copy that so that we have our password this time, unlike last time. Alright, let's run this then. Close that out, minimize that, extract that, there we go, and paste. Password is incorrect. Are you kidding me? There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. And actually, I'm going to run this as administrator. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open up Webroot, and we're going to say monitor this process. Because I want to see if Webroot is able and capable, I should say, of monitoring what this process is doing. Because right now, as you can see, it's allowed. It's not going to do anything. So let's put it under monitor. So now Webroot is saying, hey, we're going to keep an eye on this program here and what it's doing. Let's go ahead and start it. And let's just type in here and see. Yep, everything I do. And you can see my typos there. But essentially, everything I do is logged. My password is PCs rock 75 or 7432 or yeah, whatever. There, password's right there. And as you can see, it's being monitored. So obviously this is not blocking this program from key logging on my system. Not good. Not good at all. Taking a look at Hitman Pro, doesn't get much better. Same old, same old. Not going to go through it because it's just the same old everything. Essentially, final verdict. This is it. Last video, guys. And then I'm going to Avast. Like I said, I'm done with Webroot for now. I think I've tested it thoroughly. Final verdict on Webroot. My original decision stands, and actually I think is reinforced a little bit more in this test. I've shown, I believe, that keyloggers still have the capability of getting past Webroot, even being monitored. They have the capability of getting past Webroot. The manual threat removal appears to have not worked when it comes to personal files. Now, if we take a look at Kill Switch here, I'll guarantee that there's no threats running on the system right now. That the system is clean in a sense of there's nothing running. However, I'm stuck with a whole bunch of encrypted files that do me absolutely no good. And as it looks like I predicted, the system is fine. So when Webroot says it's going to protect your system, well, it does a good job of protecting Windows. As for your personal data, I wouldn't trust it at all. Keyloggers work. It encrypted my files. I was not able to reverse the encryption at all. And quite frankly, you have to pay for this program. The only thing it's got going for it, like I said, is it's lightweight and it does scan fast. I'll give it that. But it's also cloud protection. And you know my stance on cloud protection. You have to have an internet connection for it to work. If I have a USB drive with a bunch of malware on it, I have no malware protection essentially. I'm relying on heuristics alone. So, would I recommend Webroot? No. Nope. I would not be able to recommend Webroot at all. They need to improve on that. Like I said, they need to put more of a system restore type of rollback feature instead of a file selection rollback feature where you have to select the setup file. That's just too unreliable. There's too many loopholes in it. Too many things to go wrong. So, that's it. This review's over. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I assume my inbox in this comment section on this video is going to be flooded with people who are angry at me, but I'm sorry. I did the test, I think, as fair as possible. This is actual malware. There's programs out there that will block this. Unfortunately, Webroot is not one of them. So, that's it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next video.